All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arakakodash. And double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to you. I can bring out this word in diligence and in truth. This lesson, Lord willing, will be entitled Your Position Within This World. It shouldn't stop you from doing the work of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. And I'll try to shorten that to the best of my ability. But this lesson is coming off the inspiration of a few of the great men in the scriptures, or our forefathers, man. And matter of fact, I'll start off in the book of Hebrews, because this was done through our forefather Moses. And I'll start here. There's Hebrews 11 and 23. And it reads, By faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Right? So we understand, it says, by faith Moses, when he was born, he was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw that he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment, right? Because it was a commandment that the men child of a certain age were to be put to death, man. So they hid Moses, and Moses ended up getting picked up, down that river, from Pharaoh's from Pharaoh's daughter, right? It says and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Now we understand that Moses had rank and position, within Egypt. He had rank, man. And with that rank, of coming to full age, that's why when we go into the scriptures and it speaks about, how Moses ended up killing an Egyptian, because he seen Jake, the Israelite, basically getting beat, man. Moses ran off. But Moses did what? He understood that his people were the ones being oppressed. And with him having that rank within the kingdom of Egypt, he put that all away. Because what you got to think of Pharaoh, and then, Pharaoh's son, and then it was Moses. So that's what, third in command, third to second in command in Egypt, which was a prosperous kingdom. But it says what? Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So Moses' duty, it was ultimately, to be an adversary unto Pharaoh, in which his role for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai was to do what? To lead Israel out of the land of the Egyptians. And ultimately, we understand he didn't make it into the promised land. It was Joshua and Caleb. But nevertheless, he led Israel out of that bondage, man, from the Egyptians. So he put all that away. He put all of that status. He put all that rank away to do the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, I also want to grab another case, because this is from the book of Nehemiah. Because when we go through the book of Nehemiah, we understand that Nehemiah also had rank within the kingdom. This was after the Babylonian kingdom and into the Medo-Persian kingdom, under the rule of Artaxerxes. So this, I'll start here at Nehemiah 1, and I'll read down to 4. It says, The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, and it came to pass in the month of Chisleu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity that are in the province, and are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down. Right, and this was before or it's like after the Babylonians, destroyed the temple that was built by Solomon, man. It says the wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. right? It says, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the power of heaven. Now I'm going to jump down to the second chapter, because this is going to describe, not only the rank in which Nehemiah had within the Medo-Persian kingdom, but what was put on his spirit to do, because he had position in that kingdom, but that did not stop him from having his purpose for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's Nehemiah 2 in the top. It says, and it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Right, so Nehemiah is the cupbearer of Artaxerxes, man. So that shows you how close he was unto the king and his rank and position within that king. Not anybody could be the cupbearer. And it may not seem to the average person as if that's a high duty or a service. But it really is, man. Because a cupbearer has to be trusted. With someone literally holding a vessel in which the king is drinking from, the wrong malicious person could then decide to poison. They could decide to disrupt. It's a bunch of things that can happen from the rank or the position of someone that's a cupbearer, man. Right? It says, now I had not been before time sad in his presence, right? So Artaxerxes seen the countenance, of Nehemiah, right? Which shows you also what, that Nehemiah was handling his job, It says, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad? And he did it well enough for, Artaxerxes to realize, how great Nehemiah was at serving for that particular purpose in the Medo-Persian Empire. It says, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then was I very sore afraid, and said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lie waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make request? So I prayed to the power of heaven, Yahweh, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if the servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. So right there is the purpose, Now Nehemiah had rank. He had status, he had position, being the cupbearer of the king. But nevertheless, he understood a duty had to be done through the spirit, man, which was what? Rebuilding those walls of Jerusalem. It says, and the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be? And when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him at a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. And as a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the wall, appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my power upon me. That's why the scriptures say when, as a matter of fact, I'll grab it here. Ways please the Lord. Oops. Enemies. It's Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. All right, so Jeremiah was moving throughout with wisdom, throughout this Persian captivity, man. Right? It says that I shall enter into, and the king granted me according to the good hand of my power upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letter. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, they grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night, and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my power Yahweh had put in my mind, which is the heart, to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save, meaning except the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, entered the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went on to the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then went I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests. So this was a duty in which Yahweh Shem Yahushai sealed those instructions into the mind of Jeremiah. As you say, as it's also in the book of, I believe, Proverbs, it says, the Lord sealeth the instruction upon our beds, or in the minds of men upon our beds when they're asleep. Paraphrasing, it says, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my power which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us, and said, what is this thing that ye will do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I unto them, and said unto them, the power of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build, but ye have no portion, no right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. And so Jeremiah had a purpose, and that purpose was to do what? To rebuild what was destroyed by the Babylonians, man. So our position within this world shouldn't stop you from doing the work, man. Because we understand there's going to come a point in time where we're going to have to, ultimately, cast these jobs away, man. When the MOTB is implemented and the job comes down with the decision saying, you either take this mark or you lose your job, you have to be willing, to leave it, man. Because what? If you taking it, you have a condemnation unto your soul, man. Revelation 14:9. And you receive of that image, or it's like a receive of that mark, guess what? A thermonuclear fire is going to be awaiting for you. But you see, as Nehemiah being the cupbearer, Moses having rank within the land of or the kingdom of Egypt, both of these men put off, those so-called worldly duties, in order to benefit the ministry and the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. And we understand that those are not the only two accounts. But nevertheless, the point was made, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to Iakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.